Hi there, welcome back. This is my second video after my introduction that I made. I'll get right into the continuing where I left off. Before I do, I just want to say I'll try to stop playing with the platform that my laptop is on. I'm in a parking lot, and it's loud here. There are quiet times, but it's it's unpredictable. So I've waited until it quieted down a bit, but I can't really do anything about it. I'm pretty much trapped here. There's nowhere I can go. I can't leave here, and this is. I think I'm in about the quietest spot in the parking lot. To continue here, I had left off with the evening that I had had my first encounter with call it vertigo. That's what is. I think it's a vertigo. It's a very, very severe and psychologically it's a psychologically driven issue. I think some people with vertigo have they may have it for different reasons. I think a common reason is an inner ear issue, and I don't think that they associate their vertigo with fear all the time. Certainly, I imagine it's very uncomfortable, and but with this condition that I have, and I've had it since that night. I was about, I'm guessing between 7 and 8. I think is about how old I was. It has always been associated with terror. I was never taken seriously about that, and I never wanted any. Sympathy, but I did from that point on have limitations. I couldn't. There were a lot of things I couldn't do. I couldn't. Motions would. Try to get my hands out of the frame. Would trigger it. Going into elevators. Really. And anything could set it off. Also, I could just be walking around. I know it would happen a lot when I would I'd go to the mall or a shopping center with my parents, and it would I would get an attack. I think that part of the psychological aspect of it was that it would happen at really inappropriate times. It would happen when it would cause an issue for me and the other people that I was around. And I think that there was an anxiety about that. I realized that, okay, if I'm going to go out with my parents, it would be a really bad time to have this because everything stops. I get in a really bad place, and I freeze, and they've got to tend to me at this point. So that pressure of not having that panic attack, it was a paradoxical situation. If I don't have a panic attack now, it would be a really bad time, and therefore I would get a panic attack most likely. So that night, I had that first panic attack. We're in Virginia. It was, a few hours after being on that ride. From that point forward, it's a very long time ago, so I don't necessarily have things in order, but essentially, my parents did try to sort it out, figure out how to deal with it and hopefully fix it. I was sent to doctors, I don't know how many, a few. There were tests done. I know one in particular that stands out vividly in my memory was the doctors seemed to be certain, or very, I think they wanted it to be an inner ear issue. I think that maybe they, I'm making an assumption here, but I'm guessing they hoped it was a mechanical issue like that, an inner ear issue that they could identify as the problem and perhaps have a good, probability of fixing it. So one test that they ran was, and I was very young at the time, they had me lie down and pressurized air into one ear for a while. It seemed, let's say at least a minute, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but it felt like an eternity when they did it. It was really painful. That the air seemed to be pretty pressurized. What it did, however, is, other than cause the pain that you would normally associate with introducing, high pressure into your ear, is it induced severe dizziness. It was an excruciating amount of dizziness. It was so. I was terrified of being dizzy at the time, and the level of dizziness that I encountered was at that point in my life the most. I had never encountered any dizziness so severe. Then they had to do it to the other ear. They let me take a breather, and I don't know what, I got up and I begged my parents and the doctors not to do it again, but they insisted we've got to do it to the other ear. It's part of the test. I don't know whatever came of those tests. Clearly they weren't satisfied. They didn't fix the problem. I didn't, as far as I know, never heard from those doctors again. I was sent to a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. It was a psychiatrist. He was a psychiatrist. And he prescribed me, as far as my memory, I'm pretty sure he only ever prescribed me one medication. And I think that was pretty quickly after I started seeing him. Maybe even the first visit. It was called Depakote. Depakote, I was young. As far as I was concerned, doctors were magical. They could do anything. I had absolute faith in their ability, and I questioned nothing. Of course, I was under 10. I was probably 8 or 9 at that point. In retrospect, having been able to be older and do some research about Depakote, what I found out was, and this is a medication that I'd been on until I took myself off it at the age of 19. Depakote's an antipsychotic medication. It also can cause severe liver problems, liver failure. I don't know if this is the right place to mention this or not, but it seems like I'm going in this direction. So I'm really I'm angry about the fact that they started me on such a medication that's so risky, with such a high probability of really negative side effects and long lasting. If you get acute liver damage from something, that's a lifelong issue. I think it's highly irresponsible for a doctor to start out at such a severe and such a potentially damaging medication before trying anything and everything else. You start with the things least likely to cause harm and hope that they work, and work your way up depending on the severity of the issue that you're trying to that you're dealing with, in this case vertigo. Anyway, I could talk about that further. I'm already 11 minutes and almost 12 minutes into this, and I'm really sorry. I had said that this was going to go by quickly. I have I'm fighting this desire to discuss a lot of these things in detail because I think that they warrant it. However, I have to, strike a balance between speaking about things in detail, and this is, I'm basically starting at the beginning of my life all the way up to the point which I am here at 46 years old, to tell you how I became homeless. But these things are an important, they're important pieces of the puzzle that led me here. And I really am trying to fight the urge to go into more detail about certain points in my life. But I understand that I'm going to, anyone who has decided to click on this video and watch it is going to likely quickly start losing interest. So, as much as I'd like to go into details about these things, I'm really going to try to fight that urge to do that and progress. In a linear fashion, I may bounce around a bit here and there, either if I've forgotten something or I feel like it's best to come back to a point in history. But I really do hope that I can get everything sorted out within this video, and then 3 more, I think, is probably going to be a fair estimate. So I'm going to go over my the amount of time which I had estimated was, I think, about roughly 45 minutes to an hour of total videos. I'm already approaching that right now, and I apologize. My memory is not what it used to be at all. I'm very, very scatterbrained. I had significant cognitive impairment from what I was about 3.5, 4 years ago, before this event that I'll explain to you at the appropriate time took place. So I'm doing my best, and I apologize if this drags on, and I just want to say I really appreciate you bearing with me, and I will do my best to, from this point on, move forward pretty steadily. I think what I'll do is, since I'm nearly 15 minutes into this video, I'm going to cut it off here. I'm not going to be able to edit these things, I don't think. So they're just going to... It's terribly I have a lot of anxiety before doing these videos. This is the last thing I'm going to put out, and I feel like it's a really pathetic attempt to get out a story that no one really wants to hear anyway. So I'll end this video. I'll start another one, and try to speed through the timeline here pretty quickly. Okay. Thank you for sticking with me. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.